Hey everyone, welcome to Sketch a Day Live. Hope you're well and happy. What's up, Cappy? Cappy, hope you're happy. Hello, Behancers. We're live on Behance, Twitch, and YouTube today. I'm hoping to add TikTok to the mix pretty quick here, so if you have TikTok, feel free to follow me. I've been busy trying to grow that a little bit, but also busy with other projects. Patrons know what's up, pretty much. So that's been a little bit time consuming for me. But yeah, I think I'll go for about an hour and a half today. Welcome, I'm Spencer. If it's your first time, I'm an industrial designer, creator, dad. I do a lot of stuff, but we're gonna draw today. And it is Sunday. I'm kind of on this 1 week or once a week cadence right now just because of everything going on, but like I'm traveling next week to San Francisco for work, and yeah, life's busy. So hope y'all are well. Workout was good, Tom. Tom was streaming on Twitch as well. Feel free to drop that in the Discord, Tom. I didn't hear back from you, so I didn't end up joining in, or maybe my notifications were off. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep it simple today, like I have been. Do some pen and ink, maybe some marker, and maybe we'll actually get it into a digital workflow for a bit. I ran out of paper, so I had to grab some. Sorry about that. Anyhow, hope you're well, hope you're happy. Let's get drawing. Cappy is happy. Nice to hear. Nice to hear. I'm not paying attention to the Twitch stuff, by the way. So if you're watching on Twitch, it's just a kind of a mirror broadcast, mirror stream. Twitch is hard. It's kind of a gaming first platform, but how's it been for you, Tom? I am curious. How's Twitch been for you? Let's get my over shoulder camera up here. Ready to go. I'm just gonna share this link in the, I'm part of a Behance creator. Behance creator server here, so just gonna share that link. And now we're good to go. We didn't specifically pick a topic for the weekly sketch challenge. Someone suggested analog technology. If you want to participate on that, go ahead and post in the weekly sketch challenge channel on the Discord. If you're wondering what that looks like, this is the Discord server right here. You can see all my crazy servers, but we have general announcements. So if you want to catch a stream, or I've been posting these YouTube shorts as well. All right, some of those are the same as on TikTok, some of them aren't. There's a Patreon channel member channel as well, the weekly sketch challenge channel, which has kind of been dead, but that's partly my fault because I haven't been able to attend to it. So if you want to spearhead or take that on and prod people, feel free. But we've been I think analog consumer products was suggested. Maybe I need to lead by example, but there's off-topic gear and materials, even a 3D printing channel so you can see people's setups. There's my kid and I when we 3D printed our little planter. There's a teacher's lounge. You can post your own tips, tricks, and tutorials if you want, links to stuff. So yeah, there's our Discord server. I like it because it's a much easier way to have longer conversations and to, you know, post your work. It's not like Instagram, it's not like Facebook, it's not like YouTube even, where you can't really, you know, kind of have that back and forth. I did get a request from someone on YouTube. I'm going to fulfill that request. Let's see, I took a screenshot of it, so let me make sure I have that ready. It was, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna share this to my desktop, and I'll share it with y'all. Hello, introvert doodles. 0p32. Hello from Japan. I'm using a Japanese pen today. Oh, you're streaming tomorrow for a bit. Okay. Okay. Like, are you getting people tuning into your stream or not at all? I find that it's like screaming into the abyss if I stream on Twitch, because like no one's there. But hey Gareth, what's up? Good to see you on Behance. It's like screaming into an empty room, and that feels weird. So I like YouTube. YouTube seems to be picking up a little bit as well, so that's good. All right, let me organize my thoughts here. Wonder if this will work. Oh, it does work. Look at that. Okay, so this is my request that I got from someone. You can see there. Got hard stuck at sketching street lamps. I have no idea how to sketch the design of a lamp. Can draw it in some way, but really want to present it great on paper. You probably won't do this for one person, but just an idea. So I saw that comment and I was like, that's really cool. I appreciate you reaching out and requesting. So I'm going to do some sort of street lamp. I think that'll give me an opportunity to talk about perspective drawing as well a little bit. So let's jump right in. I'm using a Papermate Flare pen today. If you are curious about the pens I use, for the most part, not everything. It's just strawberry juice. If you are curious, there's a link to all the stuff I use. You can always check that out. The link is also in the video description, as is my TikTok link. So show some love on the TikTok. I know it's like, it's an interesting platform. It's different. I just feel like Facebook and Instagram are kind of dead ends at this point. But I appreciate you YouTubers for tuning in, being a part of the show. I had this crazy idea. I was going to warm up before the show, but that never happened. So let's just do a quick warm up. Someone last week was like, why don't you do this on your tablet? And I'm like, yeah, I do it on my tablet too. It's like literally one sheet of paper. And I try to be efficient with that paper. Can I draw people or cartoons in Sketch Life? I can. I'm more of an observational drawing person when I draw people. And I have my ways of doing people for product design sketches. But it's not really my jam or forte. So, but you know, I like to think I can draw anything. So if I, as long as I can break it down, I can pretty much draw whatever I want. Alright, so let's do some ellipses. I always do this the wrong way, but I'll just do some here. So yeah, Tom, when you're ready, let me know what your stream is. You can post about it in the Discord too. I don't mind you sharing and letting people know. Because it's all about community. It's not about competition for me. Oh, how dare you talk about your stream. It's one thing if I'm like streaming at the same time, and I've had people come in and like, check out my channel. That's one thing. But you know, if you're in the Discord and you want to share your Behance stream or your YouTube or Twitch or whatever, go for it. Absolutely. Hey, Jonathan. What up? That's some cool text. I don't have any mods in my chat, so everyone, please, let's keep it tight. Think of the children. Think of the children. Hello, Iron Palm. These are my warm-up exercises. So, particularly today when I was at the gym, I worked out my biceps. And if I don't like cool down, I can get a little twitchy. No pun intended. So it's nice to just do some exercises that are somewhat controlled so that you can be like, hey, muscles, chill out. We're gonna draw stuff. Chill out. Before we do the street lamps though, I wonder if I am just in love with, I started using dip calligraphy. Is it calligraphy or calligraphy? Growing up, I'd always say calligraphy. I I've been obsessed with this pen lately. It's fantastic. It's a G-nib pen. It's a lot of work because you have to dip the pen in ink. I guess I'll use this one. It's a bit older, but you have to dip the pen in the ink to do the drawing. But it just has such a fantastic look, and the line quality you get. The downside is with marker, it may bleed. Whenever I say bleed, I think of that line in Batman versus Superman. Okay. Let's get started. So we had a question, like I said, this is going to cover part of the screen here. Actually, let me set this up so it won't cover part of the screen. Where are you? Oh, that was, here we go. Copy. Okay. Hold, please. So this was a request from a user, Lamarius. Who wanted to know how to draw a streetlight. Okay, how do you draw a streetlight? How does that work? Well, I think to talk about that, and I'm going to assume you mean the entire streetlight. It's a great question, by the way. I really need to do more prep before my shows, so I have everything at my fingertips. Let's talk about 1-point perspective, because that's, if I were drawing a streetlight, that's probably what I would use. 1-point perspective. So 1-point perspective, see, this is how I draw people, right? If I'm drawing a product. But if I'm looking out into the distance, okay, this is my eye here. This is called eye level. All right. And your eye level can be a relative distance from what is known as the horizon, right? So you're standing on Earth. Here's the horizon. Now, this line, right, no matter where you're looking, if you're looking this way or if you're looking into the paper, you're going to be looking toward the horizon. So when we do perspective drawing, usually you'll see it set up something like this, where if there's, let's say you're looking at an object and it's on the ground, right, and I'm looking at this object, I am above the object, right? I'm above this object. So that means I'm going to see part of the top of the object. Okay, this is a misrepresentation because I said I would do 1-point perspective, but if I were looking, it would look something like this because relatively I am above the object, right? And these lines appear to recede to my horizon. Okay, cool. So what happens when you're standing on a street? If I'm standing on a street, you've probably seen this before. Everything appears to converge to a single point, right? So if there's like buildings here, you might end up with, is that how they look? Yeah, something like this, right? You have planes, and these planes can have volume or depth, like so. I don't do 1 point very often, so forgive me. All right, but there's a relationship between these objects if you connect the points. You can take a photo, you can go outside, you can look at the objects, and you'll see this pattern of scaling. I'm gonna trademark that phrase, a pattern of scaling. But you'll see this pattern of scaling, right, with your perspective. You know, down the street, maybe there's a sidewalk here or something, and these distances will change the closer they are to you. Okay, maybe this is our striping down the street, whatever. You could have cars on the street, all sorts of stuff. All right? But point is, it'll look something like this. You could even have taller buildings back here. But all of these are going to recede to the horizon, to the vanishing point that we have, right? So even if there are peaks to these roofs, for example. Okay, so that pattern of scaling is going to be consistent. Now, if I were drawing a street lamp, what I would do is consider what's the pattern of scale for my lamp. And when I do that, I try to kind of establish some hard points in terms of the relative distance or position. I should make clear as well, there are ways and methods in a mathematically precise way to calculate perspective, but a lot of what I do is going like building off the knowledge that I have and experience and observations, right? Things like closer equals large, right? And the opposite is true. Is it farther or further? Anyhow, equals small, right? As, let's see, and this applies for distances. So even the relative distance between these two lamps, right? Even if it's equal, it should appear that these distances are shrinking, and they're going to shrink at a certain rate depending on the way you've set up your perspective. That's going to just be different. All right, how much different? That is up to, I think, your observation, your practice. If you want to go through the trouble of measuring everything, you certainly could do that, but it's a lot of work. So that being said, let's draw a street lamp. All right, now if I isolate one of these lamps or one of these posts and just hide everything else, it really doesn't matter how big I draw this thing. Can you see that? So part of perspective is an exercise in comparison. Oh, this one's bigger, so it's closer to me. This one's tiny, so it must be really far away. But if I don't have any reference object, it's just an object. All right, so drawing a street lamp fundamentally isn't necessarily reliant on perspective in a comparative sense. So what I mean by that is, if I have my paper and I want to just draw a street lamp, I could start with a line, like so. Okay. Now it depends too. I should mention, let's say our lamps have some element, right? That comes out, like so. I can draw these lines down to the perspective line. And again, it's a matter of comparison that's giving you that sense that, oh, these are actually changing size. Wow, you get the sense of depth now. You could do the same thing, you know, if this is maybe some berm, maybe this is the beach, maybe. But if there's like a palm tree here, whatever. I used to draw palm trees all the time when I was a kid. And let's say there's another palm tree here, right? I can at least quickly reference and say this one needs to be about this high, assuming they're the same height, right? But I can scale these, and now I have, relatively speaking, a show of perspective and scale and relative placement. So that's why the size of an object, the placement of the object, and having other objects that are close to that main thing are going to help reinforce perspective. There's also things like, and this has more to do with color, like color, contrast, detail. So something closer to you is going to have more detail than something further away. Okay. If you go outside and you look at the mountains or the horizon off in the distance, and you see a tree off in the distance, the tree will appear less saturated. That's because of diffraction of light in the atmosphere and diffusion of light. Pardon me, I'm a little stuffy today. That creates a bit of fuzziness, atmospheric haze, and that's going to desaturate colors and sometimes even affect how those colors show up. There's a reason I'm going off on a tangent here, but there's a reason the sunset is so orange as compared to when the sun is in the sky, right? That's because of how the light rays are diffracted. Is it diffracted or refracted? Anyhow, one of those. They bend because of the relative placement to the horizon. All right. Why am I even telling you all this stuff? Because I'm from a math background. I like to understand how things work. So again, if I'm drawing a street lamp, right? I would think of the overall structure of said street lamp. Let's do a couple, two, and then maybe another one here. These aren't meant to be in any sort of perspective, but rather kind of single instances. So as I'm drawing these, what I might do is think of a horizon line. Okay, I wouldn't actually draw that horizon line, but I'd think of it because if, let's say, the base of this street lamp is an ellipse, okay, and remember I talked about that eye level thing, I'm going to be seeing the top of the base of the street lamp. So I know that my ellipse here is going to, relative to the horizon line, be a certain size, a certain shape for my placement. Okay, and I can draw down like so. And I like to draw the base, and then maybe mark a line there. We can connect up, 1, 2. I also like to think of forms and shapes in terms of their general makeup. Hey, Chaitanya. Jordan, what's up? Harrison, pattern of scaling, POS. I guess I didn't think through the acronym there. Hey, Hassan, what's up? Thanks for joining on the Behance. Okay, so relative or general structure here, I might mark a point, pick a point here. If I want to have a curve, we can do that. Maybe another line for the lamp itself. And now this portion of the lamp is above the horizon line. Okay, so if I'm drawing, say, some decorative lamp thing, right, I'm gonna see the bottom of the lamp. Right, I'm actually gonna be able to see the bottom of the lamp. So I might sketch something like that. All right, and I'm gonna do this two ways. I'm gonna draw the lamp itself, like in its entirety here, but also focus on this element. Okay. So again, I'm seeing the underside right there, and I'm seeing the top. And notice how the presentation of those ellipses is a little bit different. So now, as I get closer to the horizon line, this is going to appear more to be a line, but maybe I want to add some sort of details to the lamp if it's more ornate. I can add that in. Maybe the base gets a little bit wider here, flares out. All right, so I may end up with something like that. And then just to texture this out or shade it, I'm gonna hatch this through. I'm not being super careful, but I just want to show you how I would think through drawing the lamp in terms of relative perspective and all of that, right? So that's how I think about it. And certainly if you want a cleaner sketch, you can always create an overlay, right? So you can take your sketch, create an overlay, and that will, you've already figured out the perspective stuff, so it's a lot easier, right? Maybe I want another element on my lamp here. We can throw a little curve in, like so. Maybe transition those. Boom. Just like that. All right, so that's one way to think about it. And again, we don't know how big this thing is. If I throw a person in and this person is this big, you're like, holy crap, that's a huge lamp. But if I throw a person in, or even a silhouette of a human, and it's like so, you're like, oh, okay, that feels better. That's a really tiny human right there. So hopefully you can kind of see how An exercise in comparison, or pattern of scaling, a comparative look at objects in the same scene can give you a sense of scale, particularly when you're dealing with like having a human in a scene can really like. That's an unfortunate shape. It can really help you get a sense of how big something is. All right, let's do one more here. So again, I'm below the horizon line. So I'm seeing the top here. I can throw another ellipse in. Something like so. And maybe this lamp is gonna have an arm that trails off or comes off like so. And sketch our lighting element in. Maybe this one. Maybe this one is more of a like an LED panel or something. Something like that. All right, so usually I'll block in the basic forms. Again, what's the relative? Pardon me. What's the relative height there? I think I'm getting sick. And which is great because I'm going to San Francisco this week. Woohoo! Don't you love traveling when you're sick? That relative height is going to determine how open that ellipse is. Sketch that in. And there's my street lamp. Okay, if I want to do it facing the other way, you can do that too. And I know these are all kind of similar look and feel, but certainly you can use this technique to come up with your own design if you were designing street lamps. All right. Now, if you're talking about the housing itself, right, it's about what's the general shape? What shape is this? Right? Am I starting with something like so? The reason I have the top of this cube going like so and like so is I'm saying maybe the horizon line is somewhere there, right? And so then the top of my lamp, I could even draw through, find the center, go up. The top of my lamp might be right there. And if I do the same on the bottom, make a little X, find the center point, move down, then I can find where the bottom of this shape would be. I can do the same thing with cylinder. Maybe that's my shape, right, that this lamp has. Okay, I'm going to draw both ellipses all the way through. The difference is this line on the back, you wouldn't really see that line, right? You wouldn't see that line. Super quick sketches here. So, should we get funky? Let's get funky. I watched Turning Red last night with my kiddos. It's a fantastic movie, I thought. There's some people getting upset about it, but I thought it was pretty great. So these are sketches that I would do an overlay for, right? As I'm figuring stuff out, maybe it's the placement of things. I'm not entirely sure where I want to put stuff. You can draw through the other side. I'm terrible at ornate things, I will say. It's just not my jam. I think we did a locket a few weeks back. Like, ornate things for the sake of being ornate are not my jam. But let's say you had some weird lamp shape like that, right? It's all built off of... And which way do we want to put the bulb? I guess we can put the bulb in the top. But it's built off the same general like geometry of that cylinder. All right. And so like even this square one here, now that I have the overall shape, I can break this up. Maybe there's a little loop here. Super quick. I should mention again, I don't often do sketches or drawings that take forever, so I love moving quick, and as such my sketches tend to be a lot looser. But in any case, the principle holds water. The principle holds water. Sounds like some cryptic saying from like an old spy movie. The principle holds water. Soil and green as people. There's that movie Sneakers, an old hacker movie. Y'all remember that? Am I showing my age? Anyhow, you could do something like that. Maybe my light housing is right here. Now I should mention as well, this object is sketched, particularly this one, sketched in a way that centers this leading edge. That's called the leading edge. All right. And I can't spell today. Hey, Latrice. Thank you. I need the blessings. I think I'm getting sick. So I appreciate it. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, after the stream, if you enjoy the show, definitely leave a comment. It actually does wonders for discovery. If you enjoyed, if you don't, that's totally fine too. As long as you comment. If you're passionate enough to comment, go ahead and comment. All right. So that's my little bit on lamps. If y'all have any other questions though, be sure to let me know. So we covered 1 point perspective here. Let's see. Let's turn this off. So thanks again, Limaris, for the question about street lamps. Hackers with Angelina Jolie, not Sneakers. Yeah, Sneakers is like an old school hacker movie. So yeah, 1 point perspective. Talked about relative scale, drawing some different lamps here, and what I might do if I were drawing the lamp up close. So I did just want to take a minute and show you, if you haven't followed me on TikTok yet. Whoa. I have been posting some of the videos on YouTube Shorts, and I still will, but I'm trying to grow the TikTok thing. So if you use it, be sure to follow. I'm doing time lapses of different things. So these were, I suppose this is appropriate for Sci-Fi Sunday. Did some robots this week, some time lapses, posted those up. So feel free to check those out. I think I'm going to do a little bit of the Scribble game today. That'll be fun. Do a Scribble and probably do like a Scribble monster or something, or Scribble organic thing. If you're squeamish, apologies. But if you want to follow, check it out. Link is in the video description. Jonah is asking, I'm learning to draw with markers. Do you have any tips? Yes, I do have tips. In fact, I do have a marker guide available on my website. Tons of tips you can check out there, Jonah. But I would say if you're using markers, just get to know your marker, right? So most markers like this Prismacolor will have 2 ends. This one I think has, bullet tip and a chisel tip. How you hold the marker is going to affect the stroke, right? And you kind of have to get used to, well, this isn't really showing because it's a very light color. Let's grab the cheap markers here. What marker brand are you using? That's a great question. But I am curious, what marker brand? I wish there was like one chat window I could like paste links into. But yeah, Behancers, if you like markers, there's a link right there. Okay, so a couple things. Pay attention to how you're holding the marker, right? So this tip has a little bit of an angle to it. You can probably see it right there. Right there. So there's a little tip, an angle to that marker tip. So if I go more vertical, I get a line like that. If I go not all the way, I get a line like that. And if I go all the way, I get a line like that, right? Oh, you're using Ohuhu. Okay. Ohuhu markers are not refillable. I'm not going to show you all the stuff in the marker guide today, but fantastic question. I would say just get familiar with your marker tip and the different strokes available in terms of blending and figuring things out, I have some information in that marker guide. I will say that even though the Ohuhu markers are cheap, they end up costing you more in the long run, because even if $40 gets you, 30 markers, right? And let's say 30, this is 30 Ohuhu, 30 Copic. I'm trying to think how much is a Copic marker now? A pack of 36. Let's see. I gotta look this up. They're probably gone up in price, I bet. All right, so 36 set of Copic is on Amazon anyways. This isn't always the cheapest place to look, but we'll just use Amazon. Let's just say $200. So you're looking at, okay, I'll say $210 for simple math. So you're looking at $7 per marker. This one's about, $1.10 per marker, right? So the Copic marker, it's better build quality. It's a better system in terms of like being able to select colors. More on that in the marker guide, but you'll see that, like, say for example, there's a red marker. You'll have a letter and then 2 numbers usually. Sometimes there's other numbers, right? This is going to tell you the color family. Well, actually, this is going to tell you the hue. Sorry, my bad. Hue. And that's going to be value. And then this is going to be color. Right? And they do a really good job in terms of mixing, like with the Ohuhu or even these other cheap markers I'm using, Bianio. I like them for general sketching, and if I'm just sketching on random printer paper, it totally works just fine. But what you'll find is that if you get serious in the markers and you want to blend colors, and I look at this and it's, oh, G406, and I just jump in and grab G408, I don't necessarily know how that's going to look. All right, I don't know how that's going to look. Connor, it is here. That's the link on my website. If you go to sketchaday.com, you can check that out. It's a PDF available for purchase. You can check out. But I have information and a few tutorials in there about sketching with marker. I'll just show you real quick, just as a little aside. So there it is, marker guide. So tutorial, how to make something like this. Also creating materials, reflections with markers, some notes on blending. Okay, even accessories for markers, why I recommend Copic over something like a Bianio or Ohuhu marker, how to test your colors, things like that. So has 2 demos, notes on accessories, finish, textures, how to pick your markers, and some links to additional resources. So that is available for you if you're curious. But fantastic question. Thank you so much. Let's get back to it. All right. So I want to do some Scribble stuff. Similar to this. Well, not quite similar to that, but, sci-fi stuff. So let's do that. Maybe I'll leave this on screen for now. This is actually a really cool paper. This is from Strathmore. This is an acrylic paper. It's really expensive, but it was really nice to use with the ink. Held up really well. This Bristol is a little bit more off-white, but it's sufficient for my needs, shall we say. But yeah, fantastic question. Thank you. We're gonna kick it old school for a minute. Old school. Really been enjoying the TV show Raised by Wolves. It's kind of a slog. It's a slow show, but I really have been enjoying it. It's a good watch. A curious premise. Intriguing, curious. Not sure what the correct word is there. All right, I'm trying to decide if I want to do pencil or light gray marker. Let's do light gray marker. So the whole, well, actually, I think I'm supposed to use a pen. I'm supposed to use a pen for the Scribble game. And normally I would have my kids do something, but they're not available, so I'm just gonna scribble here. And the whole point of this is to turn this scribble into something. And like I said, I wanted to do something maybe techno-organic. So let's go for it. We're not drawing things ahead of time. This is pure free association from the head. Random sketch stuffs. I'm gonna shrink my head down a little bit here. You can still see me, but I'm tiny. Teeny tiny. There we go. A little bit better. So yeah, feel free to ask questions while you go. If you're watching any interesting shows as well, let me know. I like to watch TV while I draw and work. So if you have any recommended shows, I love sci-fi. This is just 90% alcohol. I use it on my 3D printers, but I'm going to use it to clean up my pen if I need to at any point. So I've got this here. We're going to try and not ruin my keyboard this time. It didn't get ruined last time, by the way. It did not actually get ruined. All right, here we go. So we're using the under sketch here as a guide for where these lines will go. You know, I'll take some of the lines for sure. Like I said, I wanted to do something weird, tech organic. I don't know what that looks like yet or means, but we'll find out. Hopefully y'all aren't too squeamish. It's like maybe this. I'm just thinking a little bit before I commit. All right, I have an idea. I don't. I've mentioned this before on the stream. I don't actually see things before I draw them, like in a distinctly visual way. So I'm kind of just hoping for the best here. Oh yeah, Love, Death, and Robots is really good. Cowboy Bebop. I started that. Oh, you know what I watched this week? So, isn't it funny how, well, those who are parents will appreciate this, but there are shows that I watched as a kid that I thought were okay, and then now that I'm a parent, I'm like, no way! So, I watched Ninja Scroll this week. Have you heard of Ninja Scroll? It's a fantastic old anime. Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D. I don't think they're available for streaming or on streaming, so I had to buy the actual like Blu-ray, but I bought them, and I was like, there's no way I'm letting my kid watch this movie, especially Ninja Scroll. It's just like, oh my god, it's intense. Oh yeah, I have seen The Expanse. The Expanse is interesting because it's... I might need to watch it again. Because I feel like it kind of went off the rails a little bit. And it felt like they were trying to hurry up and finish the show, which, you know, the last season had aired. So I wasn't super happy. And some things didn't make sense to me. I don't want to spoil the show for others, but maybe we need like a sci-fi related channel on the Discord or something. Maybe that's what we need. Started reading the last 3 books of The Expanse, says Gareth. Okay. Krakow Monsters on Netflix was strange. Alright. Trying to figure out the tech portion here. Like I said, I want this to be like some abstract tech organic thing. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving this dip nib pen. Oh, so good. It's hard to even describe how good it feels. But you just get so much, I think anyways, expression in the lines, and the ink is just delicious. So delicious. Have I read the books? I have not read the books. That's one of my weaknesses. I'm not a great reader. I'll listen to books though, but even so I'll listen to books, but even then, like, I prefer nonfiction to fiction if I'm gonna spend time reading. I want to like learn something. So that's just one of my quirks, I guess. So again, the idea here is to take this shape and somehow turn it into something, all right? I'm going for abstract today. Yeah, Love, Death, and Robots was pretty fantastic. I liked that. I feel like a lot of the... Look, I made a mistake, but I'll work that in somehow. I feel like a lot of the Netflix shows are... like, they get really close to greatness, and then they just, like, bungle it at the end. You know? I'm trying to think how I'm going to work that spot in, actually. I'm like, yeah, I can work it in. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to work it in exactly. I mean, this could be, like, some sort of alien head, if you really think about it. You know, this could be the eyelid. And we have some, like, some eye thing happening here. Yeah, let's roll with that. I like that. Let's roll with that, and then this will be like the front of whatever helmet it might be wearing. And then this could be the chin, and then we could have this be the rest of that helmet. That's what we'll do. Hey, Applejacks. What's up? Reminds me a bit of like Skrulls in Marvel lore.
I use comparisons to Hitler to win arguments on the internet at the drop of a hat.
The mother brain. Hey, Phil. What's up, man? How you doing? I always get nervous when my friends show up on stream. The ones that are like super talented illustrators. I'm like, oh, gotta keep it tight. Do you do a lot of pen and ink, Phil? I think I've seen you do some ink stuff. I've just been really enjoying it lately. It's challenging, but I've been really like it's. Sometimes I've said this in workshops and stuff. Sometimes you've got to change your tools to kind of reignite things a little bit for yourself. And this is one of those cases where I am just smitten. I love it. I know you do a lot of mad charcoal pencil work. I'm trying to remember if you do like pen and ink like this. So if you missed the beginning, this is a Scribble challenge. So we started with a Scribble, and now I'm trying to compositionally create something from this Scribble. Thanks, Phil. You're still teaching, right? We need to catch up again. It's been a minute. I appreciate the compliment. I like learning. I don't ever claim that I'm the best at anything, and usually takes a while to figure stuff out, but I like to think I can figure some things out. The mother brain. This reminds me of Dragon Ball Z, Cell. Any of y'all watch Dragon Ball Z? Reminds me of Cell a little bit. Oh, nice. I wish I could do calligraphy. I'm not really at least what I would consider to be a calligrapher. All right, so now let's get the tech portion here. I'm trying to decide if I want this to be like a mouth of some sort, you know, right at the bottom here. I guess it could be. Could be some sort of mouth. Oh, you do? Well, tell them hi for me. That's I'm flattered. Again, the idea here is to not necessarily, I mean I can, but not necessarily deviate too much from the original Scribble lines. In case you're wondering what this looks like from a different angle, let's see. Is that it? Yeah, right there. So a little bit less washed out. I don't know what this thing is on the side, but maybe it's some sort of, maybe there's some sort of like tube or something. So I'll kind of start that and we'll figure out where it interfaces and how. And then I think I was going to turn this into part of the tech, but I think I'm going to turn it into more lumpy brain stuff. One day I'll be able to come up with. I'm just riffing. It's not compositionally what I would consider to be sound or thought out, but sometimes when you don't think things out, you end up with interesting ideas that might be a springboard to something more. So I appreciate that. But I am well aware, for my more experienced artist friends that might be watching, it's not compositionally ideal and balanced. We're just having fun. Making good progress though. I'm not mad about it. If you ever want me to stream to your class, Phil, let me know. I'd be happy to do a Zoom and interact with them. Or kind of like I did last time, come by, you know. If they want to ask, what's it like to be an illustrator, artist, designer? Whatever the case may be. Yeah, this totally reminds me of Cell from Dragon Ball Z. Okay, I'm going to try and get this to focus. Okay, lock focus, so we should be in focus now. It could be like a respirator mock. You think the darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it. All right. The other tricky thing here, I think, with using the dip pen, I've mentioned this before, but you kind of have to know when to move to the next part of your drawing so that you don't smudge and spill. Hey, Omar. So you don't smudge and spill stuff. So for those just joining, this is Sketch-A-Day Live. I'm doing the Scribble challenge where you scribble something. So all these other lines here are just random lines. And my goal is, in scribbling this, to just see what I see, if I can come up with something weird. It's a good way to mix things up if you find yourself stuck and you want to try something different, inspiration-wise. You know? Like, alien stuff is really hard. I mean, as a designer, what you find, or at least what I find, is that a lot of what we create is merely just reference from what we know. And if you're always pulling from what you know and you're not like seeking outside inspiration, or you're not pushing yourself in that way, you can get stuck in ruts where you just do the same thing. I see it all the time in my work. And so it's important to remind yourself and challenge yourself right? And just kind of see what else can I do or come up with. Any thoughts on studying design? Yeah, I could live stream. Hit me up for sure. What kind of design? What kind of design are you thinking about? What kind of design are you thinking about? I mean, studying design in general, I think, okay, there's a couple aspects to traditional education that I think are worth mentioning here. One is, if you're picking a school, you're not just picking the school, but you're picking your future networking opportunities, all right? They didn't tell me that when I signed up for school and chose the school I went to. So if that's important to you, then consider what networking opportunities lie ahead with whatever school you pick, okay? The other thing is that design really isn't, this is going to be controversial, it's not so much taught as it is learned and experienced. So what I mean by that is, in a real sense, a lot of your education is going to come through doing real work, trial and error. Not so much that your professor said this or that, right? And so do you need a design degree to be a designer? No, you don't. But your chances for success are somewhat influenced by the network you create and opportunities. Now, I went to an obscure school, so I wouldn't say my network necessarily played a major role, but I can say my first job was one I got maybe influenced somewhat by the fact that the business owner was an alumni of the school I went to. But also there were people that I worked with that respected what I did. And so it's hard for me to necessarily say one way or another. Sorry, I just have to focus here. It's hard for me to say necessarily one way or another that it didn't have to do with the school at all. But I think in a real sense it was it was influential for me. But I'm also the type of person who I learn more by doing than necessarily being taught by a teacher. And I'm good at figuring things out. Taught myself a lot of things over the years. Woodworking, even how to ink with a pen is something I've kind of learned and I'm still working on. Right, just lots of trial and error, comparing stuff. All right, what does that have to do with design education? Think about what your goal is, what you're ultimately trying to do. Because you don't need to go to the most expensive design school to be a designer. But sometimes the most expensive design schools have the most extensive network of designers or people that can help you get to where you want to go. And that's worth something, for sure. So yeah, I just freaking love how versatile this pen is, really. I'm trying to decide if I want to... Ooh, that's what I should do. That's what I will do. I know how to fix that. I'm not just going to use the one pen here. I think we'll do one more after this. How important internships can be in terms of networking. Internships make a difference. I think so. I did 2 internships when I was in school. One of those internships still, I would say, has been tremendously influential career-wise for me. The other one, because it had nothing to do with where I chose to take my career, I learned a lot of stuff, but I wouldn't say in as direct a sense that it had anything to do with where I find myself now. All right, so we're almost to a good spot here with our weird dude. Almost. All right, take care, Jonah. I'm intrigued by those who work for a company and then decide to go off on their own. The latter seems fun and more work than just design. You know, it's been an interesting. Thanks for that question, Applejacks. I'll speak on that. And thanks for your support, as always. I feel like, okay, not every company is like this, so don't get me wrong. But my corporate experience was like being in an abusive relationship, where I was made to question my value every day, and question myself. And if I, like, you just kind of feel crazy. So you're like, I swear I'm making contributions here or whatever. So I just had to go. I really had to. And frankly, they were kind of pushing me out anyways. I was highly compensated, but they didn't really know what to do with me because I could do a lot of things. And I can confidently say that, not because I'm biased by the situation, but the fact that my peer reviews were so glowing and people loved working with me. So anyhow, eventually left. And you're right, there's a lot there. I took 3 months and just kind of sat with myself for a bit in those 3 months. And then ultimately, so you can kind of see without the glare, it looks a lot better right there. Kind of want to show a little bit of that middle thing. So yeah, there's a lot of work. You know, right now it's tax season, for example, and I'm having to do my taxes. But at the same time, everyone does taxes. There's bookkeeping. That's a part of this. But hey, shouldn't you be budgeting even your personal finances, right? So that's not really that big of a deal. At least that's the way I see it. There's the marketing aspect of it too. But shouldn't you be maintaining a portfolio as a designer and putting your work out there anyways, even if you're corporate? And I'm speaking from a design perspective, Applejacks. Hey, Bliss. So I understand and can appreciate that depending on profession, you may have a totally different experience as far as leaving your job goes. Don't worry, I have a plan for these shapes. This just isn't the right pen for it. And I don't enjoy that stuff. There's a couple people that might be watching that I'm friends with, and I've complained about, you know, having to do this or that. But I'll tell you what, though, the freedom to do what I want when I want to is equally inspiring and encouraging, but also terrifying in a sense. Because if I don't do what I need to do, I don't eat, you know? So So in that sense, it's a little nerve-wracking. But, you know, there's also a really good feeling when you bet on yourself. You're like, I'm going to do this. And then, hey, Roided Goose. You bet on yourself, you're successful. Like, that feels really good. Tell you what. And there isn't some boss who has no skill or competency in what you do telling you what you need to do. Your competency is affirmed and validated through the work you produce for the clients you have. That feels really good. Okay, I'm trying to remember what I was doing here. My nib is misbehaving. I might need to go get a new nib. Anyhow, I do love working for myself. I am not in any rush to go back. I've had people contact me with work opportunities. Hey, do you want to come work with us? But again, unless I'm just at a point where I don't want to work for anyone, I want to work with people. That's my mentality now. So if you want me to work at your company, there would have to be a reasonable degree of respect, autonomy, equity. All those things would have to be a thing for you. It also doesn't require the type of success you expect. Working for yourself? I think so. I actually feel like I'm working less than I did when I worked for someone right now, but I'm doing better, like, in all regards. Mental health, financially, like I'm actually saving money and I can plan for future a little bit here and there. I mean, it's not like I'm rolling in dough, but it's weird. It really is weird. Okay, I lied. I said I wouldn't use this pen for this process, but it actually turned out looking pretty cool, so. But yeah, if you've never seen it, Vampire Hunter D, check it out. It's a cool movie. But I was saying I watched that as a kid, and now that my kids are, I think I watched it when I had to have been 14, but it is definitely not for kids. Definitely not for kids. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, let me try and clean this nib first. Brief intermission. And then we'll see how it works. If it doesn't work, I'll just run upstairs and grab my other one. I had to grab my paper towels anyways. Thanks, Roided Goose. Umacorn missed the title. We're doing a Scribble challenge. So it's kind of a sci-fi grab bag, talking career, life, random stuff. You know, I just like to talk. It's all good. But yeah, that was a good question. What do you think about studying design? That was a good question. All right, I think this nib's okay. It can't be bad. I probably just need to clean it. It's probably all I needed, right? Yeah, it looks like that's all I needed. I just needed to clean it. So again, this is the Scribble challenge, where I just take a random scribble and turn it into something. So I decided to go with weird alien dude. With my scribble here today. Oh yeah, and if you have TikTok, give me a follow. I'm trying to get to 1,000 there so I can live stream on TikTok. So do me a favor, hit me up. The link is in my bio, or not my bio, but geez, so many social media platforms and expressions. But the link is in the video description for the live stream today. You've been reading so much sci-fi, trying to bet on yourself more. Yeah, one thing I always say, or a realization I had rather, is the world is betting on your failure. If you think about marketing and what it's really about, it's about trying to create this sense of need in you. I need this product, I need whatever. If I don't have it, I will fail. You know, there's almost like this expectation that you're gonna mess up. And when you shift your mindset a bit and you can realize that it's not about being the best in the world, but being the best for the world. I stole that from a little presentation my kid had at school. But if you can be the best for the world, meaning show up the ways that you're meant to show up, that's all I'm trying to do. I used to worry about I have to be the best illustrator on YouTube. I've got to, and I'm not. Very far from that. Very, very, very far. Right? So many talented people out there. It's really not about any of that. It's easy to get caught up in that mentality. So, I'm not saying you are, by the way. Just kind of spark some thoughts there. Mickey Mouse. I think that's French. I can't understand French, so. But yeah, it's not about being the best in the world. Just remind yourself that. It's like, what is it that you can bring? What difference can you make in someone's life? No matter how small. Like, to me, that's what it's about. I'm not saying that's the only way to be, and I'm not here to be your guru. In any sense of the word. But that's just something that I thought was beautiful. Beautifully expressed. get some texture in here. Let's give you the overhead again. You can see it's washed out unless I slightly angle it, and you can see all the contrast and stuff. So I'll finish out the back here and the head. I have a plan for the head. Don't worry, I have a plan. How long have I been streaming? Hour 21. Yeah, I'll do one more sketch. It'll probably be a quick one, but I'll do one more. Thanks, Umacorn. Much appreciated. And the other Behancers. I have not forgotten about you. Don't worry. I appreciate you watching. Thank you. Thank you very much. I do think I need a new nib. This is kind of bugging me. I'm wondering if I should, just this sharp edge here. I should have rounded this out, but maybe I'll leave it. Leave it for now.
I stole a pen from the bank. I cried during a powder boy.
The lesson in reflectivity here for you. So the way I'm going to handle that dot is just fill in all of this area. I've got some other pens that I can use to fill in a large area, so I'll use those. Maybe it's the ink and not the pen. Yeah, this is a little older bottle I was using. Do I have any recommendations for design students looking for their first job? Absolutely. It's a great question. Thanks for watching. Now, my advice may be a little outdated. I graduated a long time ago, but in some ways I think it's still valid. But take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. All right, particularly if you're an industrial designer, industrial design student, as are many of the people that follow me. People aren't hiring you for your thoughts in your brain. They're hiring you to get stuff done. So I would say make sure that your portfolio shows skills, like actually good work skills. Like that's a must. I would also say that companies aren't necessarily, every company's different, but if I were hiring a designer, I would be looking for something different about them. So unique skill, personality trait, something along those lines is what I would be looking for. So, you know, what's going to make you different and stand out from the pack, so to speak. That's what I would try and think about. And if you're an industrial designer, it might be being super sharp in one particular skill. It might be some weird. And when I say weird, I don't mean weird in a disparaging sense, but just something unique about yourself. What makes you unique? Okay, this is an acrylic paint pen. Whoa, this one's like dripping. I haven't used it in a while. So yeah, we're gonna play with this. that bit done. And then what I'll do is come in. I'll just fill in, create some secondary values. Like so. So if you've ever wondered how to do sharp reflections with a pen, at least that's how I do it. And now our dot is mostly taken care of. Not entirely. Mostly taken care of. If you're just tuning in, that was just a mistake earlier. I just decided to make the top of this helmet shiny. Thank you, Abba. Maybe something like that. All right, after this, I'm going to take a little restroom break, and then I'll do one more drawing. And then we'll call it good for today. I got stuffs to do. You know? But yeah, I really do love this pen. It is fun. It is definitely fun to use. All right. There she blows. So that's part one of the Scribble game. There's more I could do here, like I always do this. Always. Like, yeah, I'm done. This is good. And then I'm like, actually, just want a little bit of texture on this like weird brain stuff. So something like this I could capture and then throw into like Adobe Fresco, and I would probably do the watercolor live brush on it just to add some texture to it. That's probably what I would do. Umacorn says, oh my gosh, no Control Z. Yeah, I'm a big, I did a TikTok this week answering a question about, you know, how to get better at drawing. And I think for me, not everyone agrees, and that's fine. If you want to work digitally, that's cool. But I think working on paper is one of those like timeless things that will push and challenge you, get you thinking, right? There's obvious advantages to working digitally, of course. And I think digital tools are fantastic that way in speeding up our workflow, but like nothing beats the challenge of working on pen and paper, I think. And even it's near impossible. Not Totally impossible. Near impossible to get the same look and feel when you're working digitally. All right, I will be. Yeah, see, I think I spilled again. I'm terrible. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom. Give me a minute or two, and then I'll probably do either some sort of vehicle craft or robot. I'm thinking robot because I've been doing those lately. I'll be right back. What just happened? There we go. I'll leave it here. Guess who's back? Hi. Do I have to make the buildings now that you've mentioned so often? It's a Sketch Day Live, by the way. Thanks for joining, hanging out. If you like the stream, leave a comment. Much appreciated. I actually kicked the stream off answering a question that was in the comments on YouTube, and I think I'm going to try and pay a bit closer attention to that as well. Where is that picture? Oh, it was right there. That was the question today about lampposts. So I thought that was really interesting. So yeah, if you have questions, happy to answer. Leave a comment, or if you just want to give a high five, that's cool too. All right, I'm gonna put this off to the side to dry. Let's do another scribble. Yeah, I think it's the ink. I think the ink is... It says mix well before using. See, I didn't even mix it. Maybe I should try that. See if it helps. Of course, we don't want to mix it and have it go everywhere like it just did. That's fun. That's fun. Thanks, ink. Holy crap. I'll be right back. Okay, note to self, do not shake ink container in studio. Noted. No, I put the top on the bottle and shook the India ink bottle and it just went everywhere. So, it's cool. Not a lot of it, just a little. There are just a couple little flecks that went out. But I love using this stuff, so I'm going to keep using it. Older Sasuke. I'm not doing any anime today, unfortunately. Scribble game, that's what we're doing. So I'm gonna do a robot. I think. I'm gonna try and do my Scribble blindfolded. It's always better if someone else does your Scribble though. But here we go. Okay, so my challenge is to turn this into some sort of robot. I don't have to use all the lines, but we're just gonna freestyle it. I'm gonna try and not do all of the hatch work and just focus on lines here. trying to decide how I want to take this. You know, it's like, okay, what kind of robot? Is it bipedal? Is it like, could I rotate the page, for example? But I think I'm going to keep it vertical. I don't even know what older Sasuke looks like. I'll have to look that up. Let's see. This is kind of stumping me. Maybe I'll turn it upside down. See if it speaks to me. Like, I could totally see a spaceship in this, but I don't want to do a spaceship. Oh my gosh, this one's kind of stumping me a little bit.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro. Alright. Okay. I think Bliss was here but not here. Nice. Oh, this is giving me grief. I don't know which way I want to take this just yet. I don't think I've ever been stumped by one of these. This is really interesting. I mean, I see something for sure there, but it would be kind of awkward. Would it? Now let's go for it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's gonna be weird, but sometimes weird is fine, right? Sometimes weird is fine. So again, the idea or goal here is to take the scribble and turn it into something. All right, that's why I was kind of sitting with it for a while and trying to see see what I come up with. We are doing some sort of robot. Robot mech, whatever you want to call it. Prath VC's Squidward. I see like a weird robot with a protruding pelvis, which is why I said, maybe it'll be weird, but we'll go for it. But I'm gonna do kind of a bubble lid with a pilot, and then maybe I never know what to do with the arms. That's my problem. I'm never like 100% sure what to do with the arms. Never quite know.
Am I in your way here? Yeah, you have to move a little further down. Okay.
I might actually sketch over this a little bit and maybe the leg here. We'll reduce our forward pelvic area slightly. And I've got this weird leg, but hey, we're gonna run with it. And I could try a Pacific Rim robot, but probably not from what I have here. probably more like
Am I in your way here? Yeah, you have to move a little further down.
some sort of like exploration bot or something. Don't see it in my site. Yeah, this pen is not listed there. This is a what's this? Tachikawa nib holder. And then so when you get into these pens, I've noticed, I'm still learning myself actually. You can get the holder for the nib. And so my nib is a G nib, but I also have other pens that have other nibs, right? So if you wanted to get a chisel nib pen, or this one, for example, is very interesting. You kind of use it to just fill in areas. So yeah. Ooh, actually. All right, I think I've got it for the arms. It's gonna take some redrawing, but I think I got it. So I'm gonna have to draw over some stuff. So we'll do some like Dr. Octopus style arm here. Kind of weird, kind of cool. That's what it's all about, the Scribble challenge. So as I was saying, it's kind of it's a good way to just mix up what you're doing and how you do things. And if you're feeling stuck, sometimes you might feel even more stuck after, but for me, it's a good way to try something different, right? So if you find yourself doing the same thing, try the Scribble game, see what you come up with. It doesn't have to be a final illustration like I'm trying to make mine into by any means. It doesn't have to be that, right? But I do enjoy it, for sure. Like I said, I'm gonna have to resketch a little bit here, but what I might do is just try and like work my rework into the existing lines a bit. Like that. So kind of take this line, and then when I add a little bit of ink here, that's a little bit off. But we'll make it work. I'm not worried. In my ID Senior Studio, we shout out random prompts to do Scribble challenges the first 20 minutes of each set. That's pretty fun. I think that's a great idea. So yeah, Scribble challenge. It's a little bit more challenging when you're trying to constrain yourself, I think, to specific lines. But similar idea. Similar idea for sure. But yeah, I'm not going to do tons of hatching on this one or crazy stuff like the one we did before. In case you missed it, it was this guy. There's just a lot of texture work there that takes forever. So I'm not going to do that right now. All right, I'm going to try and resolve what's happening here a little bit. I mean, I may have forced myself to have to introduce more texture anyways, as I'm trying to visually create contrast and separation and clean some stuff up. We'll just ignore that guy for now. Or better yet, I already have this part division there. Right. So now actually I can just hatch this in almost like a different material. And that will take care of my little goober. See how that works, for instance.
PA work is specialized. PA work is specialized. For instance. PA work is specialized. For instance. PA work is specialized. PA work is specialized. For instance. PA work is specialized.
I wish I had a paintbrush.
PA work is specialized.
I could just paint in some of these darker spots super fast. But I do not. I mean, I have a paintbrush, I just don't know where it is right now. Okay, woo. I want to try a technique with the initial scribble. Yeah, try the scribble. It's really hard. Like, I don't know if you caught the beginning of this section of the stream, but I was kind of just sitting there for a while. It's like, what could this be? And then I kind of saw the middle section here. Like, this extended a bit further out, but still decided to kind of use that. Okay, I will ink the arm just because I think it will help. Okay, I can rest my pinky here. I think it'll help with the dynamic contrast and presentation. Yeah, that will definitely help. Same thing here. In case you're wondering what this is, by the way, I have a video on my YouTube that talks about reflections. Peck says, I used to do these all the time as a kid with crayons on paper and just colored in the shapes. That's also creative too. And today you're using Fresco. That's right. That's awesome. Thanks for hanging and watching. I stole this, not stole, but I was inspired by a friend of mine who's a comic book artist who does these with his son, and he'll have other people do them from time to time, but he'll just take the scribble and turn it into something. He's super talented. His name's Ryan Otley. Right now he's currently illustrating for the Hulk series for Marvel Comics. You can find him online, Ryan Otley. Maybe you know of him or have seen his work, but in any case, that's where my inspiration for all this came from. Just, I was like, that's really cool. I want to try it, and it's super hard, but it's also super fun. Super duper fun. Let's give you the over shoulder so you can see what I'm doing here. Oh, that's a good idea. I mean, maybe a bit triggering for some people, but that's a good idea. Or I'll do some maybe biohazard or some symbol on the belly. That's a good idea. Thank you, Melly. I hope you have a nice day too. It's very nice of you to say. So yeah, there's little tricks you can do sometimes when you're illustrating. I mean, this is just quick sketch stuff, but contrast is a good way to do that. When you're working with ink or working with your textures, existing lines, and so forth, can also be a good way. Hey Arnav. We're good, we're wrapping up. Soon. Not quite yet, but soon. Using the inking pens again. I promise next time I'll do something different. I've just kind of been in love with these lately. Maybe even revisit some of these and add color digitally. Could be a cool exercise as well. I'm good, Arnav. Thanks for asking. I don't know if I'd mentioned that, but just been busy. Life's busy, but it's a good busy. You gotta make sure you have your alerts turned on for the YouTubes. And I think if you're watching on Behance, if you follow me, you'll get notified when I update work or if I'm live streaming work. You'll get an update, so. Alright. I'm definitely feeling this a bit more now. I was a little bit worried for a second there. Not panicked, just, wonder how this is gonna turn out. So you gotta be careful sometimes if you're trying to move too fast with these pens. You'll get the splotches and blotches. Can't have that now. I can't tell if there's spiders crawling on my legs or not, but I'm like trying to not react. I've got this little weird twitch on my leg right now. I remember when I first got an iPhone. I don't know if this happened to y'all, but I would get the phantom buzz because the whole notification thing, you know. And all right, what does a biohazard sign look like? It's a little complicated. It reminds you of an Among Us character for some reason. I guess I can see that. Trying to decide if I want to have a human pilot or if I want to do something else in there. Probably just make it human. At the very least, a silhouette. My usual silhouette of a human piloting. Probably can't see that very well. Starting to get hungry though. Starting to get to lunchtime for me. I've not even eaten yet today. Maybe there's some sort of hinge. Put on there. Maybe some rivets. Something like that. So once again, this is more for the YouTubers watching. If you like it, and or not, either way. If you got something to say it in the comments. Engagement matters. So not just chat, but like after the video, if you have questions for next time, whatever, please leave a comment. I appreciate it. Sure appreciate ya. Staying hydrated is important, yes. Absolutely. right, biohazard symbol. Let's see. This is very complicated. Okay, 3 circles, little thingy in the middle, and then another circle. Alright. Staying hydrated is important, but also I need to actually eat. So I have not eaten today. It looks something like this. This is one of the areas that I think digital sketching is particularly good, because I could just take that image with the biohazard symbol, right, and just throw it on if I wanted to. Right there. But I can't here. Alright, just add some details, little thingies. And we will be good to go in just a bit. So, it's been fun hanging out. Thanks as always for, if you've been here for the whole show. Wow, has anyone been here the whole time? I'm curious. I can't really tell ever. Unless you're actually commenting, so. Either way, if you have been, thank you for watching. Much appreciated. Derek, what's up, Derek? Okay, I gotta give Derek a shout out. I hope that's okay. Derek is one of he's like an OG supporter of what I've been doing, and I really, really freaking appreciate it. Thank you so much, Derek, for your contributions, for showing up, for finding me on other platforms. Really, 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 really appreciate it. So seriously, if there's anything I can ever do to help you feel appreciated, let me know. You're awesome. Prathvi has been watching from the beginning. That's cool. Shout out, Prathvi. That's quite the feat. If you did watch from the beginning, I'll show you a bit of what we did here. Also, again, if you haven't yet, 80%, nice. If you haven't yet, follow me on TikTok. I'm posting more short videos, snippets from the streams. Also other projects, like 3D printing, other design projects, thoughts, life stuff. Oh, I didn't even finish my thought earlier. The reason I'm not focusing on Facebook and Instagram, I've talked for some time about how extortionate the relationship is as a creator with Facebook, Instagram, all of that. And they keep moving the goalposts. They did a new thing this week with timelines. So unless you select me as a favorite, you're probably not going to see any of my stuff, right? Especially if you follow a lot of people. So And I don't mean just art. We're artists. So I'm like, you know what? We need to find some green field here. But also, they don't really compensate you for what you do. At least with YouTube, there's ad revenue. You know, potentially, not always. I messed up. Look at that. I messed up. All right, how am I going to fix this? Let me think. All right. This one is going to take some creativity on my part. But I think I've got it. Actually, it's not going to take too much. Because I have white pens. Shouldn't be too bad. So I'll just white ink that out. Just like that. I'm not going to stress about it. But I will move it off to the side. Leave it there. We also did... Let me get this ink out of the way before I have another disaster happen. Also did this one here. All right, so without the glare, you kind of see what that one looks like, as well as our little robot friend here. Shows you a little of what I've been up to on TikTok. Right, so I do these time lapses. This took about 30 minutes. Did that one. And where's the other one? And this guy right here. I actually like this one. Turned out really well. So if you want to catch me on the socials, the reason I'm pushing so hard, by the way, on TikTok is I'm trying to get to, you have to have 1,000 followers to be able to stream live, and I want to stream live there so I could stream. Yeah, it does look more warm. There's a glare on the overhead camera, Umacorn, right? Because I have a light right above me, so I need to figure out my lighting situation. But in any case, there you go. Looks a little different with better lighting. Anyhow, you have to be at 1,000 followers to be able to stream. So I'm trying to hit that mark of 1,000 followers. So if you're on TikTok, use the link in the video description. Give me a follow, show some love, and I can stream there. I know Derek's already following me there, and a few of you, Tom, as well. So yeah, much appreciated, much love to you. Thanks as always to the channel members and patrons for your support in a very real sense financially to what I'm doing at Sketch Day here. Why is that light still in frame? There we go. It means a lot, right? It makes it a lot easier to do what I'm doing. You know, that internet bill, it's a lot of money. Actually, I have gigabit internet at home, so I can do this for y'all at least once a week. So much appreciated, much love. And even if you can't support, that's fine. Just being here is awesome. Leave a comment, show some love, share the page if you like what you see. But most importantly, if you learn something, or if you try something, you learn something and you want to get better at it, consider teaching. You know, take a moment, sit with someone, explain to them how you did it, what you learned, and it's actually going to make you better at what you do. All right. Remember, as always, passion is the process. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Passion is the process. I'll be back next week. I won't be here during the week because I'll be in San Francisco for part of the week, and that kind of throws a wrench in things. But I'll be back next weekend. If not Friday, definitely Sunday. So take care, much love, peace, and I'll see you next time right here on Sketch Day. Okay, YouTubers, I think it's just you. All right, peace, bye. I have to turn 3 things off at the same time. All right, take care.